the class. So again, good evening to everyone. How are you today? How are you? Good?
Very good. Thank you.
Good. Very good.
Good.
Excellent. Fine. Excellent to hear that and to read that. Okay, so last class we worked on the uses. I'm going to share my screen. Well, last class we worked using this document, right? And we worked on the uses of have to, don't have to, though I have to, can and can't, expressing obligation, no obligation, and ability and possibility, right? We work on this specifically, and we developed some exercises to practice, right? The idea was to start working with some very specific basics of grammar, right? And some very specific elements of grammar that the idea was to work on some very specific basics of grammar of the unit, right? So obligation, ability, and possibility and permission, right? Obligation with has to, lack of obligation with don't have to, right? Um, the possibility, ability, and permission with can or can't, right? Which are these things? We watch some videos, right? And we develop and we carry out some exercises, right? Which are these ones over here. Now, we are going to move on the same document, the document that you have. I mean the document that you have, the thing that I gave you last time, the document that you have with you, right? And we are going to start with some specific elements of vocabulary, right? And this is habitual activities, activities that we do every day, right? Give me a moment, please, because I'm receiving an internal message. Give me a moment, please. Okay. Sorry for the delay. So these are like daily activities, so activities that you do every day. People, you have this document. Muchachos, yo estoy compartiendo la pantalla, pero ustedes tienen este documento. Acuérdense que yo les compartí este documento, ¿no?
Yes.
¿En dónde está,
Yes,
profe?
sir.
Yo se los compartí a ustedes la clase pasada y ustedes lo
Yes,
tuvieron
yes,
que haber
yes.
descargado, ¿no?
¿Cómo, profe?
Yo se los compartí a ustedes la clase pasada y ustedes lo tuvieron que haber descargado, ¿no, muchachos?
Long time ago.
No, hasta ahora.
Josué,
Con ese documento trabajamos la clase pasada y luego presentamos el link para
Mm.
subirlo acá.
Pilas.
De hecho, eso está en los comentarios.
Eso está en el chat. Incluso se los pongo en el chat para que no tengan que ponerse a rebuscar en ningún lado. Nada. Se los pongo en el chat para que ustedes tan solo tengan que darle clic y le descargue de una vez.
Esa fue la
Pero
actividad.
para los que porque los que no tuvieron de alguna forma o algo así, se los voy a volver a poner en el chat. Espera que lo tengo que volver a buscar porque lo saqué de mi escritorio. Si hay alguien que lo tenga a la mano, porque yo ya no lo tengo a la mano, la verdad. Yo lo tengo ya, lo guardé por ahí en una carpeta. Y lo puede poner en el chat, se lo agradezco.
Ya lo envío.
Gracias, Alexis.
Si puede al WhatsApp, mucho mejor.
Okay, so as I was telling you, daily activities. This vocabulary is very special because of the grammar topic that is coming, or the grammar topics that are coming in a moment, right? So these are like very common things, right? So for example, help your mother, do your homework, watch TV, right? Play computer games, read books, listen to music, play football, ride your bike, do exercises, go for walking,
For working,
rest,
swim,
catch fish, sing a
sing
song,
a song,
play with
with
friends,
friends,
Go
shop,
go shopping,
go
Go
to
to
bed.
to
bed.
bed.
So these are daily activities. So activities that we do every day, right? But why are we dealing with this kind of vocabulary of or things that we do every day? Because the grammar topic that we are going to cover, or the grammar topics that we are going to cover today, are it's related to that. We are going to cover two grammar topics actually that have to be with that, right? And in this class, I need you to be pretty open-minded because you're going to receive a lot of information today, right? You're going to receive a lot of information, especially because this contains this, because this is like, in essence, you are supposed, I want to be honest, you are supposed to know that already. According to this kind of program, you are supposed to know this thing already. But I know that some of you probably are in blank of this, right? So I'm going to show you some things like little by little. So I'm going to show you like structure by structure. So because I know that some of you are in blank on this, right? So I'm going to make a little parenthesis. De acuerdo con el programa, se supone que ustedes, esta parte, esto es como un review. Y se supone que esta parte, ustedes ya deberían tener ciertas nociones de esto. Sé que muchos en esta parte están en blanco. Entonces, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Yo les voy a mostrar estructuralmente parte por parte, porque estos son dos temas gramaticales. Y es un review de los dos. Entonces, ¿qué les voy a hacer? Les voy a mostrar uno por uno, parte por parte, y luego la superposición de los dos, para que aprendan a hallar la diferencia, para que lo sepan usar y lo sepan diferenciar, porque la semana que viene van a realizar una actividad que es calificable y van a tener que usar ambos. ¿Listo? ¿Entendido?
Roger that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Okay. So we're going to start with this. So we have present simple and we have present continuous. So we're going to start with the present simple, right? So we use the present simple to express, right? We're going to start with this one. So we use the present simple to express repeated actions or daily routines. So more often these ones, right? So the ones that we call like daily activities or habitual activities, right? So repeated actions or daily routines. Permanent states. things that don't change. For example, I live with my parents, for example. General truths or laws of natures. For example, like the water boils at 100 degrees, right? For example, right? So you are going to use the present simple to express repeated actions or daily routines, permanent states, or general truths or laws of nature, right? So those are three specific cases in which you use the present simple, right? But how do you form the present simple, and what is that specifically? Well, I'm going to show you a specific video in which you are going to see the formation of that. And what is the present simple? Actually, indeed, it is not that difficult. Moment.
English.tv. GoEnglish.tv. The present simple.
How do we form the present simple? Affirmative.
Subject plus verb plus object.
I drink coffee.
Conjugating the present simple. Affirmative.
I play the piano. You play the piano. He plays the piano. She plays the piano. We play the piano. They play the piano.
Well, I'm going to stop here for a moment. What is the difference between these ones and this one? As you can see, all of them, they say play, 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 but the one in the middle says plays.
Place.
Why
Yes.
why that one says plays and not play like the others?
Sí, profe, ¿qué le iba a decir?
Why? ¿Por qué? Why that one
Porque
is
nosotros.
different?
Es
No.
ella.
Because
she.
because we have he and she, and
He and-
actually if we have it also, it will be also with the s. The pronouns he, she, and it, they are something that we call the third person, right? I wrote in the chat. They are something that we call the third person, especially in the present simple. When we use the third person in the present simple, the verb has the s, right? Or depending on the verb, for example, if it is the verb, for example, have, it transforms into has. If it is the verb do, for example, it transforms into does, for example. Well, depending on the verb, but most of the verbs, you have to put only an s, right? If the verb ends in o, well, you put an o, you put a es, like for example, go, it transforms into goes, right? So, well, it depends on the way that the verb ends, right? But in most of verbs, you have to put only an S. But with he, she, and it, the verb changes, or the verb, it's a little bit different, right? But with the rest, the verb is the same. But with he, she, and it, well, it looks a little bit different, right? That is why he, she, and it is what we call the third person.
How do we form the present simple? Negative.
Subject. Plus. Do. Plus. Not. Plus. Verb. Plus. Object. Adrian doesn't like the doctor.
Conjugating the present simple. Negative.
I do not play the piano. You do not play the piano. He does not play the piano. She does not play the piano. We do not play the piano. They do not play the piano.
We can contract the negative form of the auxiliary verb, do.
I do not. I don't. You do not. You don't. He does not. She does not. He doesn't. She doesn't. We do not. We don't. They do not. They don't.
How do we form the present simple? Interrogative.
Do. Plus. Subject. Plus. Verb. Plus. Object. Do. Elephants eat grass.
Conjugating the present simple. Interrogative.
Do I play the piano? Do you play the piano? Does he play the piano? Does she play the piano? Do we play the piano? Do they play the piano?
Profe, una pregunta. Usted ahorita cuando la primera foto de he, she, que usted nos estaba hablando, se refería a que aparte del he y del she, al lado está el it.
They didn't show it. Lo que pasa es que hay un
It
pronombre
significa-
más. It es el pronombre para las cosas. He, she es el pronombre para, he es para él, she es para ella. It, no lo mostraron ahí, pero it es el pronombre para las cosas o los animales.
Esta.
Para
Esa.
lo que es para it, para el mueble, para el perro, para el gato.
¿Y he y she se habla en tercera persona? Para
Y-
tercera.
He, she, it, los tres pronombres son para tercera persona. Los tres. ¿Ves? Incluso si tú le pones la lógica al expresarte cuando tú hablas de el mueble, es un tercero. Cuando es un tercero ajeno, así sea un objeto, es un tercero. ¿Ve? Entonces, por eso gramaticalmente es tercero. Es una tercera persona. Entonces, por eso dentro de la gramática cuenta como the third person.
Profe, ¿y el it siempre va a estar acompañado del she y del he?
No,
En este caso,
no, eso es un pronombre aparte, no,
Ah.
sino que yo te los pongo como tal porque dentro, los tres como tal forman parte del grupo de la tercera persona. O sea, por ejemplo, en una oración tú vas a encontrar he plays soccer. No va a ser he, she eats, plays soccer. No, he plays soccer, o she plays the piano, o he opens the window, o it, algo que haga un objeto, por ejemplo. Bueno, it barks loud, como el perro. Por ejemplo, it barks loud. Si te refieres a que el perro ladra muy fuerte. Pues,
No, profe, o sea, lo decía en el sentido de, es que ahí mostraron varias tablas y entonces en todas las tablas que mostraron el it iría con el she y con el he, ¿cierto?
cada uno es un pronombre independiente, sino que los ponen ahí junticos para ahorrar espacio.
Sí, ¿cómo le explico? O sea, es que, ¿cómo le explico? O sea, en las tablas el it iría al lado de she y de he. O sea, me refiero a que como ejemplo para el I se dice play, ¿sí? Y por decir para el he se dice plays. Entonces, no sé si me haga entender. Sí, a eso me refiero. O sea, el it en todas esas tablitas va a estar al lado del she. O sea, me refiero que también para el
Te lo
it
explico así.
utiliza
La misma regla que se aplica para he, se aplica para she y se aplica para it. La misma regla.
Sí, eso es a lo que me refiero, profesor. A eso.
Exacto.
Listo,
Por eso te digo, está en el
Gracias.
mismo grupo de la third person. Por eso te digo, está en el mismo grupo.
Profe. Una pregunta.
Tell me.
Los pronombres en tercera persona siempre es singular, ¿cierto?
Yeah, all of them are singular. Because we have the third person in the third person in plural is they, but it's plural, so
They, we.
Is they is the third person in plural, but we don't call it like third person. We call it only they, right? No more than that. They is the plural for the three of these, right? They is the plural for he, they is the plural for she, and they is the plural for it.
Teacher.
Tell me.
Teacher, can share the list of the videos?
Can you repeat, please? If I can share the what?
Can share the line.
The link? Okay. I will share the links. Yeah. At the end, I always share the links. Don't worry. Don't worry. I have the videos over here. Any other question? Tell me.
In the last example, in the video, the form negative, the form interrogative.
Interrogative. This is the interrogative.
Yeah. The form negative. Se le agrega el not.
Well, this is the interrogative. You want the negative? This is the negative.
Okay.
This is the negative. The negative, yeah, is like the negative. If you say do not, is okay, right? But of course, we have the short form that is don't. That is the same thing. But let's remember that since we have the third person here for he, she, and it, we say like doesn't or does not. That is the same thing, right? Right? Does not or doesn't is the same, right? But let's remember that when we have, since we have the change over here to the verb, we don't add the s, right? Because the third person is already here. The change is already here, so the verb here goes normal. The same happens here in the same happens here in the interrogative. Check that here the auxiliary, well, here the do is called the auxiliary. The auxiliary has the change here. Check that we have does instead of do, right? That means that the third person is applied here, right? So play is normal. So the change is here, not here, right? So that is something that you need to remember. So the auxiliary is the one that absorbs the change. So the S is not here, the S is here. So that is something that you need to remember, considering the third person, right? So I'm going to share the link of this video on the chat just for you to have it there. So that is considering the present simple, right? I'm going to go back over here.
Profe,
Tell me.
otra pregunta.
Tell me.
Por ejemplo, en el presente simple, las excepciones no las vas a explicar o eso ya tenemos que tenerlas en cuenta.
Not yet, because I'm not dealing with the exceptions yet. Because if I'm not dealing yet with the exceptions.
Okay.
Not yet. Because that will be like too much information, especially because we are going to deal with the present continuous.
Okay, okay.
Right?
Sir, ¿el taller esto es para resolverlo ahorita en clase?
Which one? ¿Cuál taller?
La guía que está transmitiendo, profe, la que está proyectando.
Esto es para nosotros ir haciendo en clase, nosotros
Sí,
acá.
para nosotros ir haciendo en clase, ¿cierto?
Ajá.
Okay.
Okay. So now, well, this was like present simple. Now I'm going to show you the information, the grammar of present continuous, right? But first, the present continuous. We use the present continuous to express actions happening at the time of speaking, right? For example, the teacher is explaining in the class, right? Actions happening around now, but not at the moment of speaking. Or fixed arrangement in the near future. For example, tomorrow I'm traveling to La Mesa, for example, right? Just to give an example. So these are like the uses or the most common uses of the present continuous, right? The three most common uses of the present continuous. So actions happening at the time of speaking, actions happening around now, but not at the moment of speaking, right? For example, this week I'm working at the bookstore, or fixed arrangement in the near future. For example, tomorrow I'm traveling to La Mesa de los Santos, just to give an example, right? So these are the present continuous tense. This present continuous tense is the same thing to say the present progressive, if you have ever listened about it. It's the one that you find with ing in the verb, right? So also, I'm going to show you a video with it. Again, it's probably you're going to get like a lot of information today, but I'm telling you, be patient with this. Just give me a moment.
GoEnglish.tv. The present continuous.
How do we form the present continuous? Affirmative.
Subject plus be plus present participle plus object.
Andy is washing the car.
And I'm going to start from here and from the very beginning to clarify some elements that you need to know. First thing, this be is the popular verb to be that you probably learned in your school when you were in high school, and probably the verb to be that you work in your whole high school when you were like students, right? The verb to be, right? And the thing that we call the present participle is the verb with ing, right? This thing that we call the present participle is the verb with ing, right? So don't get confused with the present participle is that, the verb with ing. No more than that.
Teacher, ¿hay only elements? Nada más.
Excuse me? Can you repeat, please? I could not listen. Okay, so let's continue.
Conjugating the present continuous. Affirmative.
I am drinking water. You are drinking water. He is drinking water. She is drinking water. We are drinking water. They are drinking water.
Remember, we can contract subject pronouns with the verb be.
I am. I'm. You are. You're. He is. She is. He's. She's. We are. We're. They are. There.
How do we form the present continuous? Negative.
Subject plus be plus not plus present participle plus object. I am not talking to Hannah.
Conjugating the present continuous. Negative.
I'm not drinking water. You're not drinking water. He's not drinking water. She's not drinking water. We're not drinking water. They're not drinking water.
How do we form the present continuous? Interrogative.
be plus subject plus present participle plus object. Are you doing a presentation?
Yes, I am.
Conjugating the present continuous. Interrogative.
Am I drinking water? Are you drinking water? Is he drinking water? Is she drinking water? Are we drinking water? Are they drinking water?
Okay, so that was like the grammar part of both the present simple and the present continuous. Let's remember that the present continuous is the same thing to say the present progressive. We normally call it also present progressive in some cases, right? You can find information, or if you look on Google, present progressive is the same thing, right? Now, since the idea is try to use them both, or like try to make like a versus of them, I'm going to show you a video in which how to make a difference between them, right? Because in some contexts, there could be like a little confusion between how to use them, because there could be like some similarities between them in some cases, right? So I have a specific thing on how to use both at the same time in some cases, and how to make a difference between them, right? So pay attention, because after this video, we are going to develop some exercises. After this specific video, we're going to develop some exercises to practice and to check how much we understood.
Present simple versus present continuous tense. English grammar lesson. I speak English. I am speaking English. What is the difference? I speak English is in the present simple tense. I am speaking English is in the present continuous tense. When do we use the present simple and when do we use the present continuous? Let's look at each one. The present simple tense. We use the present simple tense for facts or things that are always true or generally true. Whales live in the ocean. This is a fact. This is always true. A dog has 4 legs. This is generally true. Unfortunately, some dogs have 3 legs or less, but in general, it is true. It rains a lot in winter. Yes, this is generally true. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. This is a fact, just like the fact that water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. The present simple tense is also used for regular habits or repeated actions. These are often daily routines, and they happen always, often, generally, every week, etc. I brush my teeth 3 times a day. I read in bed every night. She goes to the gym after work. He walks to school every day. Common time expressions used with the present simple tense are always, often, generally, normally, sometimes, never, every day, every week, every year. Note that the time word is in the singular form. Day, not days. Once a day, twice a week, 3 times a month. Then the rest are 4 times.
Okay, I'm going to stop here for a moment and I'm going to make a parenthesis on this part. In the present simple, specifically on this one, there is a group of words that are very commonly used and they help you to know that the expression is in present simple, right? We have every day, every week, every year, once a day, twice a week, 3 times a month. Okay, they help you to know that the expression is present simple, that actually is a common action, is something that happens every day, etc. But especially there is a set of words, there is a group of words that we call adverbs of frequency, and I'm going to write the name, adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency. I wrote the name on the chat. Adverbs of frequency. That group of words, they tell you how often an action happens, right? The most common actually that we use, and they are most commonly used in the present simple. The most common ones are like always, often, sometimes, never, right? Never is one of the most common ones, always, sometimes, hardly ever, etc. Seldom, etc. Right? Generally is is another one. So they are like very common expressions in the present simple also, right? Well, I wrote the name of that group of expressions in the chat for you to look for extra information for that group of words. Why? Because probably you will need to use that group of words next week for the activity. So please. Okay, later I'm going to answer that question. About the third person rule, no. Ferney, the third person rule, like putting the S, no, is not used. Okay, so let's remember. Adverbs of frequency.
5 times, etc. In the morning, in the afternoon, at night. We don't say in the night. I recommend seeing our video about prepositions of time at, on, and in. On Mondays, on Fridays. When the day is in plural, it refers to all Mondays, all Fridays. Present continuous tense. We use the present continuous tense for an action happening right now at the moment of speaking. When somebody is doing something right now or something is happening right now. I am teaching an English lesson. Yes, that is what's happening right now. You are watching a video. Yes, that is what you are doing right now. Steve is washing his hair. She is taking her dog for a walk. You can see that these actions are happening right now, and they are temporary actions, normally for a short period of time. The present continuous is also used to talk about something that is happening around the time of speaking, but not necessarily at that exact moment. This action is in progress and hasn't finished. I am reading a great book. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm reading a book right at this moment. It refers to this moment of my life. I've started reading this book and I haven't finished it yet. They are staying at a local hotel because the roof of their house was damaged during the storm. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are at the hotel right at this moment. Maybe they are at work right now or somewhere else. This situation is temporary. Jack is learning Italian. It doesn't necessarily mean he is learning the language right now at a desk with all of his language books. It refers to this moment of his life. Common time expressions used with the present continuous are now, right now, at the moment, still. Now let's compare the two tenses together. Here are the sentences from the beginning of this lesson. I speak English. I am speaking English. We say I speak English because it is a fact. I generally speak English, so we use the present simple tense. We say I am speaking English because it refers to what I am doing now. It is a temporary action because in a moment I might start speaking in Spanish. So we use the present continuous. Let's compare more sentences. I live in England. We use the present simple for things that don't change for a long time. I plan to live in England for a long time, and I don't plan to change soon. It is more or less permanent. But if I say, I am living in London at the moment, I use the present continuous because this situation is temporary. Next month, I plan to live in a different city. Another example. It rains a lot in winter. We use the present simple because this is a fact or is generally true. It is raining right now. We use the present continuous because we are talking about an action that is happening right now. It is in progress. It will not continue forever. It is temporary. Tomorrow, it might be sunny. Look at this cartoon. What is he doing? He is biting his nails because he is nervous. This sentence shows the action is happening now. He is biting his nails right now. Does he always do this when he is nervous? Yes. He always bites his nails when he's nervous. The second sentence uses the present simple because it is talking about his habit, something that he does when he is nervous. Notice how we use the present simple tense with the adverb of frequency, always. Let's compare the present simple and present continuous in affirmative sentences, negative sentences, and in questions. Here are two affirmative sentences. I eat cereal every day. This is my habit, my routine. I'm eating cereal right now. This is an action happening now. Let's look at the negative form. I do not eat cereal every day. No, sometimes I have pancakes for breakfast. Yum. I'm not eating cereal right now. No, I'm eating broccoli. We use do not or does not to make negative sentences in the present simple. Remember, we can use the contractions don't and doesn't. We add not between to be and the verb to make negative sentences in the present continuous. And making questions. Do you eat cereal every day? Is this your habit or routine? Are you eating cereal right now? Is this what you're doing right now? We use do or does to make questions in the present simple tense. We change the order of the subject or subject pronoun and the conjugation of the verb to be when making questions in the present continuous tense. Questions, same verbs, different meanings. Questions can have the same verb, but its meaning changes depending on if the question is in the present simple or present continuous. For example, what do you do? This means, what is your job? But when I say, what are you doing? This means, what action or what thing are you doing right now? Another example. What do you read? This means, what type of books do you like to read? What are you reading? This means, what is the name of the book you're reading right now? I hope you found this grammar lesson about the present simple versus present continuous useful. If you did, click the like button.
Okay. So that was like the, let's say like the verses of both tenses, like showing the time expressions that you can use in both of them. Like in the present simple, you can use like the adverbs of frequency and expressions like every day, every week, once a day, twice a week, etc. And in the present continuous, you can find like now, right now, at the moment, still, like all those very common expressions, right? I'm going to share the link of this video also to you for you to have it, and I'm going to also share the other video that I forgot to share with you.
Thanks.
In the chat for you to have it as material, extra material. Well, now I'm going to check your understanding. I'm not going to start with the exercise from the guide. I'm going to start with another exercise with you. Just give me a moment.
Profesor,
Tell me.
es que estoy muy confundida. ¿Usted me podría hacer el favor y nos podría explicar un poquito en español? ¿Sí?
More than explaining, let's try to make an exercise.
Así es.
Probably with a practical exercise. No, mira, Josué, hazme un favor, deja hablar por todos. Porque es que siento
Entonces hablo
que
por
me
mi
estás...
profesor. Sí,
Exactamente.
Profesor, un momentico. Con todo respeto que usted merece, profesor, yo ando loco, sinceramente. Y sinceramente usted dice que el inglés 2, cuando vamos a inglés 2, no
inglés
entiende
1.
ni... No, estoy hablando de inglés 2 cuando usted inició, profe, que no aprenden nada los de inglés 2. Pero si en inglés 1 no estamos entendiendo, profe, entonces ¿cómo vamos a llegar a inglés 2? Eso es lo que quería decir.
Ay, Dios mío, Josué.
Profe, es que yo llevo 40 años que yo no veo inglés. Le estoy dando un ejemplo. Entiéndame usted, profe.
Bueno, entonces ahí donde le digo que usted tiene que esforzarse un poquito y practicar por fuera un poquito, Josué.
Profe, ya que están hablando ahí, quería decirle algo ahí a los compañeros que tengan en cuenta en el primer video, cuando usted explicó lo de la conjugación del verbo en el presente progresivo, ahí hay unas reglas, son 4 reglas. Principalmente es cuando terminan en E los verbos, se le elimina la E y se le pone ING. Y la otra regla era el monosilábico, que debe ser que al final del verbo, si termina las últimas 3 letras, consonante, vocal, consonante, entonces se elimina la última consonante y se le pone ING. Y la última excepción era que si termina en X, Y, W, X, Y o Z, entonces también no se duplica consonante y se le pone ING. Era para compartirles a los compañeros.
Exactamente. Vamos a hacer esto. Can you see the link that we have over here that I'm sharing? That link is going to send you to this exercise.
Oh, yes. Very
Right.
good.
Complete these sentences below using either the present simple or present continuous, right? So you have to identify which one to use. And here in parentheses, you have the verb to use.
Profe, ahí en la primera es present simple, creo.
¿Qué te hace
Según
pensar?
la tabla.
¿Qué te hace
Es-
pensar?
Que
Es
las reglas de
que-
frecuencia.
Bueno, y si es present simple, entonces ¿cómo lo tendrías que hacer, Karen?
Que yo recuerde, creo que cuando se utiliza el I, o sea, el I, se coloca play, así como está ahí. Que recuerde, ¿no?
¿Recuerdo bien?
I am.
Ahí si fuese progresivo sería el am, sí, pero en este caso no porque es presente simple. I play. I play
Profe,
go.
¿es para resolver aquí todos o
Yeah.
cada uno?
Well, let's do it here, all of us together, just to check if we understood the topic. Just, especially the ones that have the questions and the doubts. The number 2.
Playing. Playing.
You.
So the children.
Is playing.
But we have the children.
Place.
Oscar is giving us the answer, the right answer. Are playing for a reason. Y ese es un error muy común. Children is a plural word. The singular word is child. Child is one. Children is more than one. Child is one. Children, two or more. Right? It's the same thing like man is only one. Man is two or more. Right? The same thing happens like woman is only one. Woman two or more. Right? It's the same thing. Those are irregular nouns, right? So the same happens with children, right? So that's why we are using are. And it is present progressive because we have the expression at the moment. The expression at the moment is one of those common expressions that we use. It's a time expression that we use for the present progressive. The present progressive uses three very common expressions. Now, right now, at the moment, well, four or more, some common expressions. Now, right now, at the moment, and still. There are some others like while, because we talk about parallel actions, while, but those are more complex cases, right? But now, right now, at the moment, and still. Now, next one, Haruka.
He
He's
or
working.
We
He's working.
We have the expression today.
Hoy.
hoy.
Work.
Okay, work. We say work.
Working.
We say work, but work will be right or
Not is work.
Is working.
Working? So you say like is working?
Yes.
So Haruka is working today?
No, is work today. Working porque ya está trabajando.
Is working today? Works today?
Working.
La conjugación del verbo lo que le da es la pronunciación al final, trabajando o endo, si las palabras terminan en endo o ando.
Don't use, that is why using Spanish is wrong.
Yes.
That doesn't have to be anything with that. Ahí no tiene nada que ver lo uno con lo otro. O sea, en español sí, eso es el gerundio. Y eso es una cosa, es cuando usted, esa palabra, los verbos en ese momento, eso de que ese ando endo es cuando usted el verbo lo vuelve sustantivo. Por ejemplo, me estoy ejercitando. O ejercitarse es bueno para la salud. Ya, eso es otra cosa muy distinta. Pero acá es otra cuestión aparte. Haruka is working today. So, shall we leave it like this? Let's leave it like this.
Sería presente continuo, ¿no? Sí, está bien así.
Let's leave it like this. You are the boss. At the end, we leave it like this, Jason. Okay, Jason, yeah, Jason is a student, as I know. I'm going to admit. Okay. You can't borrow my lawn mower because it doesn't.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It's
In the
actually,
moment.
yeah, it doesn't work.
Está
Actually, the
trabajando.
doesn't is telling us like a half of the answer. Okay. Smells good. What are you?
You make.
What are you make?
Interrogative.
Yeah, it's a question. But what are you make? Is that right? I don't know. What do you say, Karen?
Making.
Making.
Like making?
Yes.
Okay, so what are you making? My husband never.
Make, profe. Teacher.
Make like this. So my husband never make me breakfast. Okay.
Living. Living.
Okay. Pauline is living. So aquí se aplica una de las reglas que estaba diciendo uno de los compañeros ahorita. ¿Listo? A mí me gusta explicar eso en la acción. ¿Sí ven la E?
Sí.
Sí ve que tenemos acá la ing, la E se va, ¿cierto? La E la retiramos y le ponemos la ing. Lo mismo pasa con dance, lo mismo pasa con... otra vez porque terminé en E.
Live.
Place, the placing, place, etc.
¿También?
Work. No, work no termina en E. Los verbos que terminan en E. Pero, por ejemplo, make. Por ejemplo. Entonces, los verbos que terminan en E, usted le quita la E, le pone la ing y ya. ¿Listo? Entonces, Pauline is living in Hong Kong. Acá.
Live.
Living.
Live.
Live.
Living.
Do you still
You still living with your parents?
Live.
Do you still living with your parents?
Live.
Okay. Do you still
Live.
living with your parents? Listo. Bueno. Si hay errores, al final revisamos y les digo por qué el error o por qué no. Porque hay errores.
Teacher.
Tell me.
In the seats. In the seats is
1,
makes.
2, 3, 4, 5. Here, makes. My husband. My husband is a he.
Porque no es un hábito.
My husband never makes me breakfast.
Makes.
And it's a he. It's a he, so it's the third person. Okay.
Yes.
Check answers. ¿Cuál es el error?
Era vive.
Do you still live? Porque es un qué. ¿Por qué? A pesar de que es still y es una expresión que usamos en el presente continuo.
Una sola persona.
¿Es un adverbio de frecuencia?
No. Hay una cosa que mata a la otra. A pesar de eso, ¿no? Ustedes se acuerdan uno de los usos, y les voy a proyectar esto acá. Un momento. Que es que hay una cosa que mata a lo otro. Voy a proyectar la pantalla acá. ¿Qué dice acá? ¿Sí le alcanzan a ver? Sí. Se lo estoy mostrando, ¿no?
Permanencias.
Estados permanentes.
Permanentes.
Cuando usted vive con sus papás, usted no se muda, por así decirlo, ¿no? Usted no se muda de la noche a la mañana. Cuando usted vive en un lugar, está en un lugar, usted no se muda de la noche a la mañana. Eso es, por así decirlo, un proceso. Sí, usted no se va de hoy a mañana, usted dice, hoy me mudé y mañana, hoy me paso al otro. O sea, así como así por aquí, tomé la decisión espontánea y me pasé. No, eso es como de una semana a la otra. Eso es, por eso es que se llama estado permanente. Entonces, por eso está dentro del grupo lo que es el presente simple. Entonces, por eso, así está la expresión still. Y normalmente la expresión still, cuando se usa en el presente continuo, va al final. ¿Ven? Entonces, es por eso que así está la expresión still ahí. Es, como es estado permanente, usamos es el presente simple.
Entonces ahí sería be, sujeto, presente, sujeto, objeto.
Ya le vuelvo a proyectar lo otro. Es pregunta, ¿no? Do you still live with your parents? So, do you still live with your parents? So, do you still live with your parents?
I think yes.
Ahí está. Okay. People, homework for next class. For next class. I need you to do this. Only these ones. Only this column. For next class, as a homework, I need you to do this. This column. From the document, bring these ones as a homework. Understood?
Understand, teacher.
And let me tell you this, and I'm going to say this part in Spanish. La próxima semana, ustedes van a tener ya dispuesto en Atena desde el lunes la primera actividad calificable, que es el escrito. Va a estar dispuesta desde el lunes y van a tener desde el lunes, si es desde el lunes, si es desde este lunes, me recuerdo. Regálenme un momento, miro algo acá.
¿En Atena, profe?
Sí, es en Atena, porque ya es de las calificables, es de las que son nota como tal, de lo que concierne a su 30%. Déjenme un momento, miro las fechas. Sí, es desde la otra semana. Ya se me perdió. Bueno, ahorita les confirmo en el chat. En el chat que se me allá. Ahora se me trabó este computador. Sí, 23, sí. Van a tener desde el 23 de agosto, o sea que es el lunes, hasta el 28 de agosto para realizarla. O sea, van a tener a lo largo de la semana para hacerlo. ¿Listo? Bien. Y hasta el 28, o sea, después del 28 ya no se recibe. Y solamente se recibe en Atena. ¿Vale? Todas las instrucciones y todo, el documento y todo va a estar en Atena. ¿Entendido?
Solamente entonces quería para la próxima clase estas dos columnas que nos acaba de mostrar.
La columna solamente que le acabé de mostrar, eso es como tarea.
La,
y eso
la
para-
parte resaltada en amarillo o ambas.
La parte resaltada en amarillo.
Ah, listo, profe. Todo bien.
¿Listo? ¿Listo? ¿Listo, muchachos?
Profesor, usted
Dame.
dijo que esa era la primera actividad que se iba a calificar.
La que
Pero
va a
lo,
estar en
lo
Atena.
que dejó en
O una
Atena.
que va a dejar en Atena,
La
compañera.
que va a estar en
Esta
Atena.
es para la clase próxima, pero va a dejar algo para Atena, en Atena, perdón.
O sea, lo que resaltó en amarillo es para la próxima clase.
Sí, para como tarea, como para refuerzo, como para que usted practique, como para...
Ah, ok, profe.
¿Listo? Como
Sí,
tarea.
profe.
¿Listo?
Sí, señor.
Okay, people. Bye, bye.
Good night,
Bye,
all about. Good
Bye,
night.
Nice afternoon, teacher.
Bye, bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher. See you later.
See you. Bye, bye.
Bye, teacher.
Teacher, can you tell me where are the tests? I don't remember. I forget it. Can you help me, please?
The what? Which test?
The principal test.
The diagnostic test, the one that we did like 1 week ago.
No, the next one.
The one that we're going to have next week, the one that is going to be graded in Atena, is going to be in Atena. It's not uploaded yet. It's going to be in Atena.
How can I tell you? The principal test, the exam, the exam.
But we don't have exam yet.
Sorry.
We are not going to have exam yet. Is
Yeah,
the writing part?
When is it? When is it?
When? Okay. Well,
Yeah, sorry.
But I already gave those dates. I already gave, and those dates, well, actually those dates are in the chat. You will have to look in the chat. Like, you will have to scroll it up because I already shared those dates. Because I already shared that information. Let me just.
Yeah, it was the last class.
The very first class, very first or the second class, I shared that information. You will have to check the recording or the chat of that class because I shared that thing, that information.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.